If I'm able to achieve this, you'll be the number one.
Oh,
You will be the number one. Yes.
number one.
Yeah, if you, I'll give you that. I'll make you number one. Wherever I'm going with my own business, I will try to make visits around the world. Visits around the world. Oh, yes. I know I'm going to have the money for that. I won 2 awards. The True Blood Award in 1970 and 71.
Where at? Where was the?
Yeah, when I was in college.
Okay.
They call it True Blood. True Blood. True Blood is TRU hyphenated blood. That's the name of the person who came there.
And what do the awards represent?
I capped my own idea, and it was selected at the best artwork.
Much love.
Yes.
What was it? What was it a design of?
The design was a wood by itself,
Okay.
and I developed that wood to be an image.
Okay.
Yes. And then the second one was Obasima.
Obasima?
Yes, a beautiful lady.
Ah, okay. On wood? Or,
Wood.
okay, I'm just
My
checking.
works in Ghana were basically wood. It's only in America here that I'm doing modeling.
Ah.
I did model because I wanted to take an exam in modeling. We worked on a whole figure. Yes, a full-time figure sitting on a pedestal.
Phrases go through,
I did
go
that.
through your head.
What was it like? What was that like?
Life size, sitting down like that.
Ah.
Yes. Sitting with the leg and the knee up like that.
Really,
That was a young man,
is an incredibly
healthy looking body.
mantra.
And then another girl, one of our best models, very tall, about 5'6", 5'8", standing naked, nude. I modeled her.
Now, what material did you use? Wood?
I use clay.
Clay,
And cast,
okay.
and cast in cement.
Okay, clay and cement. And cast
I
of
cast
cement.
it.
Oh, you casted it into cement.
I made molds and
Okay.
cast it in cement.
Oh.
I've done the crucifix, Jesus Christ on the cross. 2 of them. One of them at Kede Roman Catholic Church and one in Elmina Polytechnic.
Okay.
They put them in a grotto.
In the grotto. So at what? At a Albina, you said? The second place. I didn't hear that properly.
That was Elmina.
Elmina.
Elmina was the place where the slaves were sent to bring them to the United States. You heard about that?
Yes.
Elmina Castle.
Okay.
Elmina.
So one of your crucifix are hanging there?
It's at the Polytechnic. The school is on the interland.
Okay.
Not very close. And then in Liberia, I made Mother Mary. Hands clapped. And also a grotto. So in future, if I decide to go over all these ways, I'm going with you.
Right on. We get ready to go see where make sure everything is still
You
there.
sit in the plane free, you eat free, you sleep free, you do everything free. Oh yes, I'm saying too much.
Well, no, you're looking at the possibilities from what you have earned in your lifetime. Your achievements have earned you those types of amenities.
And the fact that you are going to help me write on all this with the poetic inclination and poetic feeling.
Yes.
So what are you going to be? You are going to be somebody to
Yes. Making my efforts.
To get the backpack because there was
I'm not trying to be big mouth, but I'm saying the truth. What I want to let it happen is my problem was I didn't learn the computer very well right from the beginning. So I was stuck. So I should have gone to the computer to do it. And I didn't know how to do it.
So if you went to the computer, what would you have used it for?
What is this?
If you knew the computer, what would you be using it for?
To record all the things that I've done so far and put in things that I've written in practice into a book face or Facebook or whatever.
Okay, so I don't know about his availability, but my friend Brett, who was here yesterday,
Grant wanted to tell.
he's an archivist. Archivist.
No artist.
Yes, that's what he does as a hobby and as a passion, and that's where his formal education has come in.
So where you have the archives, you should be in charge.
He helps develop them. He has a collection.
Greg sitting down there is an archivist.
Man sat that right there, yes. Man who sat right there yesterday, yes.
Oh, I've missed something.
So if you have those items, he, well, I can't say how he would do it because that's not what I do. But that's where his heart lies.
There's a large bus in our back way. So when people get on the bus, you're about to become on the bus.
Let me try to get some space real quick while you do that. Get some space on here so I can record.
And then I turn around and it's literally
iPad storage.
I look at that picture of myself at that point in time, and I look at the look on my face, it's this weird reminder that it's actually there, it's not a dream.
What about you? Bless it, bless it.
At Narrowman House, Sandra Samuel was still trapped in the pantry. She'd been there for 12 hours, listening to gunfire in the neighbors, listening to 6 people being murdered. Sometimes there were long silences. The gunman still didn't know she was there. Then, just before noon, Sandra heard crying. It was 2-year-old Portia.
I am clearing space. Excuse me.
Outside, she found Moshe standing between his dead parents. She gathered him up and ran for the stairs. Sandra and Moshe were the only survivors in Darren House. Drew Dixon and Deborah Bain spent all day 2 hiding in Deborah's room on the 19th floor of the
I remember that now. I remember that when I remember the incident now. And it was Pakistanis who came in, and that was at the somewhere along the lines with the when we invaded Afghanistan. It happened around that time frame as a kickback. A lot of things were happening in that area. Ooh, it came back to me. I'm so proud of myself.
All right.
There was a rifle pointed at me, with a guy dressed in black standing over me.
when the rifle's at your head and someone says come out with your hands up, you really do have to come out then. Heart-stopping.
Then one of them said to me, why didn't you come out with the police? And it was that 1 second where I thought, well, he's already got us. If it's not the police, why would he still be saying he's the police? And I looked at him and I said, you're really the police? And he said, yeah, we're the police. And I just hugged him.
They said to us, we're going to try and get you to a safe room, a room on this floor that we have secured.
There was another couple in there. The man had a shirt that was drenched in dried blood.
It's like seeing your next of kin or something like that. You love everybody who comes in at that moment.
Deborah came and she was crying, she was shaking, she was happy, and then we hugged and we cried, and all 4 of us.
The 4 came out of the Oberoi together.
After the barriers, they were photographed. So our first picture came out there.
When I look at the pictures, my own face is a kind of acceptance of the situation. I have learned to accept that people have died and they will have lived. And it's not a happy picture.
It took another day to find and kill all the gunmen in the Oberoi Hotel in Narrow House. The Taj was finally secured the next morning. The last person to walk free was a hotel waiter. Almost 1,000 people escaped or were rescued. At least 172 were killed. Dozens of them stabbed in the 2 hotels. Later, the only surviving gunman told police his instructions were simple: killed to the last breath. The terrorists were indiscriminate in their slaughter. They killed Indians and foreigners, Muslims, Christians, Hindus, and Jews. The bodies of the gunmen remain in the city's morgue. Nobody has claimed them. The Indian Muslim Council has refused to give them an Islamic burial.
What's an Islamic burial?
It's done within 24 hours. Or hope to be. You're wrapped. Your body is wrapped, but not mummified, is it? Is it mummified? It's wrapped in a mummified Islamic burial?
Which was?
Islamic burial?
Oh, where? In Ghana?
Anywhere. Just in general.
Yes, I don't think they...
But it's done in a 24-hour period of time.
Islamic people in
Buddhists.
the Islamic people in Ghana are not doing it well, like the Egyptians.
But these guys were young.
When you talk about mummify, you can hardly see it, but they follow the same pattern of digging the grave. Where they dig the grave and make it on the side.
Yes.
And put the corpse before putting sand over it.
In the sense
But
that
the Egyptians
we
built a
really
whole
were just doped up kids who were
structure
brainwashed
of
and made
like a
into
coffin under
dispensable
before they put
robots.
the person there. And the person is not fully covered like
We were sorry for that.
with sand.
As they departed,
They
we
make
were really
something
sorry
like a
because they were
whole
going to die.
cave, a curvature. So the object
I don't want to forget. No.
Have air and access to move about.
I wanted to hang on to straight.
The spirit.
Especially when it still had a little
But
shrapnel in it,
those I
especially
saw
high up
them
in my arm.
buried in Ghana
Because
by
through
the
that, I felt
Islamic people were not like the Egyptian pattern. They buried them just like
Since 30 years we
ordinary.
were always too much in each other anyhow. Now we are maybe more.
If I don't see her for a
So in Buddhists,
we start
Buddhists,
calling her
their
name.
funerals, some Muslims, they try to bury within 24 hours, 48 the latest.
The Buddhists are just like the Islamic people
He
too.
cries out my name.
But their funerals can go up to 9 days, sometimes even more, depending on the stature of the person.
That's a bit too much.
Yeah, the biggest statue.
So,
You might never bury
stature. Well, you know, because our king, King Rama IX, he, at least 30 days, his body stayed in state for 30 days.
Yeah, they
King Rama.
mummified.
So, I mean, I've gone to funerals in Thailand, and one was actually 9 days, just based on the stature and the social level of this individual.
They have ways and means of preserving the body.
Yes, and it's actually the coffins are refrigerated as well. I can show you pictures because
They use only spices, chemicals, and things like that. And they grind certain type of stones to smear on the human body, so it's remain intact.
and then because in my village most of the body is covered, it's in refrigerated, and it's lots and lots of flowers. You stay, someone's awake 24 hours with the body.
What is your village?
Thailand, in the south,
Thailand.
Surat Thani.
Are you from Thailand?
Yes, I am, technically. Yes.
But your color doesn't give you that.
That doesn't matter. There's people darker than me in my village.
Tell me something. Don't throw me about, okay? Let me know what is happening. Do you speak your language?
Dichampu pasa tai tai nitnoi. Nitnoi.
Oh, Kofi.
You're watching PBS. It is our oldest enemy, and perhaps our most feared. Cancer.
When you look at what's going on with cancer right now, it's stunning.
Now more than ever, there is reason for hope. Cancer, the emperor of all maladies.
When you say from Thailand, I can just imagine a white spot, Chinese.
There is a strong influence of Chinese in Thailand. So we celebrate the Chinese New Year as fervently as you celebrate the Thai New Year and the calendar New Year. And some of the rituals during the course of a funeral or a celebration, depending on the wedding, and those individuals will acknowledge and take on the Chinese tradition.
The very best dramas and documentaries. Catch up on performance and lifestyle programs. And revisit some of your favorites. Plus, Passport is your gateway to a digital library of special series and a rich catalog of local programming. Passport is accessible anytime on your computer, smartphone, or tablet on 13.org.
Is Thailand very close to Antigua?
TV or Fire TV.
No, it's in Asia. It's in Asia,
Ready to watch.
near Malaysia.
Become a member.
In Malaysia,
Videos with this.
Asian country.
Before Brianna's surgery, she was very self-conscious about using her hands.
It's a difficult condition to live with.
Brianna wanted a bionic arm. And that's what North wanted it.
I eat very independent like this, which is cool.
Northwell gave her a whole new life. A normal life. A new one that gives you life. That's innovation that cures and cares.
education in Thailand,
One sponsor,
or
13
you were born here?
Born here, I lived in Thailand for 3 years with the United States Peace Corps.
business or institution.
Somewhat akin to you working with
How
UNICEF.
many years? 8 years?
3.
Public media.
Okay.
An independent, thinking audience engaged in their community, informed about matters that are important to them, and responsive. Your message communicated to an important audience at the right moment. Bring out the media clutter with a multi-platform sponsorship on 13. To find out how, visit 13.org/ysponsor. This month on 13, the Ultimate Trailblazers.
We were the generation of women who
But,
laid their
you know,
birth
it's
down.
relatively close to a lot of things, but it borders on Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Malaysia. Malaysia in the south, because we got a lot of their smoke when they burn their crops every summer.
I'm taking the responsibility of my mother, my younger ones, and my children.
And one incredible soprano.
You cannot compare her with any singer that I have met.
Celebrate the accomplishments of these women and more. March on 13.
They're off.
I was seeing two faces. I was seeing two faces. With the glass on, I was seeing two faces.
Join us in celebrating one of the most historic folk gatherings. Woody Guthrie, Star Tribute Concert 1970, was a historic concert to combat Huntington's disease held shortly after Woodie's coming. Hosted by Peter Fonda and Bill Gear and starring Pete Seeger, Arlo Guthrie, Joe Baez, Richie Haven, Dan, Country Joe McDonald, and others. See it here for the first time.
All new. Thursday, Friday, 10:30 at 13.
I haven't heard this music for a long time.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What countries, because you've taught in Ghana, you've taught in Liberia, you've taught in America, what other countries have you taught in? Sculpture or art?
Actually, let me tell you what. I wanted to teach in Liberia when they established that college of education. But I didn't stay there.
Okay.
I taught in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
I even to a level of becoming the principal
Okay.
of a technical school. To Kiri Darlene Memorial Academy. I was the principal for 2 years. Then, fortunately or unfortunately, a classmate of mine was head of the UNICEF unit in Liberia. And we chose together at a market. Hey, Kofi, what do you want here? And what is Togway would call it Togway, what do you want here? Now tell me, this is sit at the corner. I'm the program officer at UNICEF and Liberia. My office is just at the corner here. Are you ready to go and see me in the office? I said, why not? Then I told him the story. I went to Liberia to teach in the Liberian University. Unfortunately, the soldiers and students had a scuffle, and they closed the school the next day when I was supposed to go for the interview. So they closed the school. And what will you do? You have to go back.
Yeah.
by American Cancer
Or run into a friend.
I wanted to go back.
Okay.
Lymphoma Society,
Then another year came.
by the Entertainment Foundation,
There are
by
a whole
Stand
lot
Up to
of
Cancer,
problems in Uganda. We need teachers.
Mm-hmm.
by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting,
Then the proprietor came to me
to this from
and then
viewers
he
like
said,
you.
could you run my school for me? I said, why not? Then I'm taking you tomorrow to Uganda. The place is called Ganta. And Ganta is in the hinterland
Okay.
of Liberia. I said my prayers and I said, Lord, you know why I'm here. I didn't want to become the principal. I wanted to teach culture and economics. So, lead me.
What grades? What grades? Or what were the ages of the students that you were the principal?
It was a technical school.
Oh, okay, technical school. Okay.
But with each breakthrough,
They
cancer
do
revealed new layers
there's
of complexity.
those who learn how to type
Uh-huh.
what they call commercial.
Yes, yes.
They had teachers there already.
Administrative type of.
Yes, so, which has now become the computer program in the whole world. When I went there, I was teaching them basically geography, English, and then became the
A
administrator.
new millennium would witness more
Worked in the
frustration,
office as an
more
administrator
debate among researchers.
with the founder himself. So he helped me to arrange things in order. And then he left.
And prevented. How bodies
2 years you were there. 2 years you were there.
Yes.
So many discoveries in so many fields that researchers have come to believe that real
I built
neural
a school.
computers
We went
are
to
not only foreseeable,
villages to campaign to get more students. We are not running a secondary school, we are running a technical school where we will learn how to do carpentry, we will do commercial subjects, we will do that. So people started coming. And within 1 year, the school had about 56 students. I had gone up to 231.
Right on.
The second year, we were over 300. And we were building building rooms for students.
Is the school still in existence? Do you know?
Now I don't know, because when Doe was overthrown, when President Doe, Kayan Doe was overthrown, they destroyed a lot of things.
began with the promise of a new
Schools were used as military grounds. Dissidents were occupying schools and going to toilet in the schools and stuff.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
no realm of
Sleeping
science
there and
poised to
raping the
embrace
women and all that.
Yes.
That was it. Then,
The discovery that
fortunately,
cancer was a genetic disease
Achia
in
took
the
me to
1970s
to
and led to the first
his office,
targeted drugs.
and they said, Kofi, I want you in my office. You can't
Slightly
go to
very
Ganta anymore.
abnormalities.
Because of the change of
Perceptive.
environment.
On the effects of a single
He
mutation
said, you are not supposed to be a principal here. Let their own people do the principal job and teach and
that
let me
especially
the
caught
school.
the
That's
popular
right.
imagination.
Because they will start digging you out. And in fact, it was
Against a
true.
gene that causes
They
CML,
dug me out.
deadly type of leukemia.
But that's okay because, you know, you went and you were able to build it and give them something that they could use.
The principal never forgot about it. I met him here in America.
Really?
Yes.
How many
He said,
years later?
You know, that was
Disease was disappearing. Many people in the cancer community were saying, okay,
6 or 7
cancer's
years.
been cured.
Ah, okay.
He has lost his seat in the government. He was one time assistant he was acting minister
Okay.
of finance or something.
Uh-huh.
North Star of the cancer
During the
wellness.
coup,
Yes.
he has been overthrown.
Everybody is suddenly
I took him to a restaurant and bought food for him to eat.
Right on. Return the favor.
Said he wanted to come to my house. I said, no, I can't take you to my house. Because at that time I was renting just a room and somebody said.
Well, not only that, you understand what could possibly happen.
I was able to feed him. I was able to give him a bottle of beer or more. He had bought food for him at the restaurant.
Fair enough.
Oh yes, I did.
That is fair enough. That's
This world, sometimes you have stories to tell you don't know.
How about that? How about that? So you've taught in, or principal in Liberia. Of course, you have taught in Ghana. You did 2 years here in America. What were you going to Germany for?
No, not to Russia.
Russia. What were you going to Russia for?
To become archaeologist.
Archaeologist. Huh.
That was what Kwame Nkrumah planned for us. We were 3 boys who were going to read archaeology, and we're going to stay in Russia for more than 6-7 years. Because archaeology, you just can't jump into it. You have to do a lot of things.
Right. Right.
You have to read architecture. You have to read sculpture. I was capable of doing all that.
Yeah, you know, I sat on the board of a museum, African American Museum, the Banneker Douglas African American Museum. It's actually the repository of African American art from Maryland State. And I have been to several archaeology sites within Annapolis and 2 other places in Maryland, and it is very, very fascinating. Happened to be there when they actually came up with a little piece of plate or something of that nature, because in Annapolis, Maryland, it was one of the major ports where Africans came over and became enslaved in America. As a matter of fact, one of my former bosses, who was an attorney, Mr. Michelson, and they still had the building on Main Street, blocks from. That's where Kunta Kinte came in into Annapolis, Maryland's port, on his slave ship, and they still had in the basement of this building in 1990s the area and where the slaves were chained and awaiting to be sold or just handled and whatever. Right there, yeah, Annapolis, Maryland, so.
Transfer station.
Yes, and so that's, you know, what we did. There was a lot of archaeological sites in Annapolis, Maryland, because of its place in African and African American history in that area.
Okay.
And they were trying to preserve what they could before it became too gentrified. Because at one point in time, the blacks in the community owned all of the real estate along the water. And then when Annapolis
They were fishermen.
starts sailing, and now Annapolis is the sailing capital of the United States. So guess where nobody else lives anymore? Near the water. Because you need to shore up your boats and what may have you, and your yacht clubs and things of that nature. So, so Clay Street was one of the most famous strips. Everything was owned by African Americans, all of the businesses, the houses, the industries and things of that nature. And when they started to look at their want of use for the land, they built 9? Definitely 6 housing projects within the city of Annapolis. one street in and the same street out. There is only one with two streets going in and coming out. I remember riding on the bus, and all of a sudden this bus turns off this street and then it's going down this block and there's tall trees and I'm like, let me off, I don't know where you're going. And it was like maybe one other person on the bus. That's how far back they put folks in these developments, in these housing developments. Yeah, one road in and the same road out. Trapped.
One-way street.
Isn't that something?
People are
All
suffering.
of life is.
Oh my goodness, and then it's still trapped to this day.
Yeah,
People have suffered before.
They suffer now.
Supposed to suffer. That's what life is all about.
That's not what the myth says.
Oh,
That's a myth. That is a myth.
Power of myth.
The power of myths. Yes, Lord. Yeah, so I do
If you go
understand.
to Elmina to see where the slaves were sent from the hinterland to the sea,
No, yeah.
you weep. I think you were there. You went to Elmina?
What was your impression?
Huh?
What was your impression?
Oh,
Just say, listen, that was so many years ago now. Dear.
Well, close your eyes and think about it. Could you hear the water lapping on the shore?
you see, they had built the
Is it that close?
They had built
I can't, I
the
think
castle
about it. I
on
can't.
top at the
I
beach.
Okay.
The castle was on the beach, but before you get into the ship, you have to go through a tunnel, and the ship will be there. As soon as you get into the tunnel, there are wharf boats, smaller boats, which will take you to the sea, because that place is not all that deep enough to
For a ship to, with that.
for the ship
Harbor.
to the ship to launch. Yes, so they had to go on smaller boats, the wharf boats into the ship, and from that place to the ship was another terrible thing those days. The sea was rough. Sometimes the boat will go and for about 100 yards will come back again. Yes,
Pick up their load.
it wasn't easy. The white people hadn't developed that place so well that it would have been easy to carry them. So it takes about weeks to get to the boat. At that time, they don't give them food. They don't give them nothing.
Well, they want you weak so you can't fight.
They were stealing the people away.
Good.
You know,
Just imagine if they didn't
No,
steal the
sometime-
people, I
sometime-
wouldn't be here.
good.
I'll send you back.
They have a plan for that now.
Yeah. The flights, they are getting cheaper and cheaper.
Yes, they are.
Oh, yes.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Just make sure it's not on one of those new planes. What is it, the 7 Max or the 8 Max?
Yeah.
And I told you I was watching the news, and I was talking to Michael, and a former FAA official, rather high up. He's finishing up the interview, and the host asked, "Would you fly those planes?" He said, "No, and I recommend you don't, and everybody else either." I didn't realize that the FAA, somewhere along the line, granted Boeing their own opportunity to certify their planes, which means that there is no official body that inspects these planes. their own company certifies their own planes. Of course they would. Amazing.
I knew about that.
I had no
I knew
idea.
about that when they first made the introduction of the new plane and that sort of stuff.
Good gracious.
Fine. Yeah, listen.
That's daring.
Okay, fine. But what do you think that fine was? Ask Michael when he jumped out of the plane with a parachute.
Did he now?
That's right.
Where was he running from?
I don't know. Him and his girlfriend at that time.
Oh, for fun? Shit.
Chicken.
You know what? I'm proud
I
military.
want you to come and see